Welcome back, folks. We're joined with our first guest today, Mr. Jaylen. Say what's up. And we got a big week coming up for boxing. We got our heavyweight rematch, Joshua and Usyk. What do you guys think, revenge or repeat this time?
I'm thinking repeat.
You're thinking repeat?
Yeah.
What do you say that?
Usyk is so slick especially he's a naturally smaller dude, but just like his movement, I feel like he just outboxes him again.
Mm-hmm. I think
kind of the same story.
Yeah. What do you think, Michael?
I think Andy Joshua's gonna make a lot of better adjustments, but I think that even with his adjustments, I think he's still kind of tailor made for Usyk in a way of just like how Usyk counter punches and stuff, you know. Yeah. If Joshua wants to be like rough and rowdy, it's like I think Usyk already knows how to combat that kind of style, so it's like I don't see it as like Joshua says it's like gonna be different, but like for Usyk, I don't see it seeming all that different than if he fought AJ the first time and AJ tried to rough him up. Honestly, because I think AJ was still able to steal some rounds in the last fight, but I think it was because he was trying to box, you know.
I think people try and make that fight seem a lot more, one-sided than it actually was. It wasn't that one-sided. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. There was a decisive winner. Pause for technical difficulties. We kind of like messed up, but we made it better somehow. So
it's fine. We'll edit that out. Anyways.
Yeah.
You were talking about how it wasn't a blowout.
Oh yeah, like I think it wasn't it wasn't like super one-sided. It's like everyone's like, oh yeah, like Anthony Joshua got exposed, and I'm like, I just think Joshua went in with the wrong game plan. I think Joshua needs to make a return to the Joshua that fought Klitschko, the Joshua that fought Dillian White. You know what I mean? I don't think he can. I think he's trying to do the same thing that he did in that second Ruiz fight with Usyk. But the problem with that is that Ruiz and Usyk are two very different fighters. And, this is a common adage in boxing. Styles makes fights, and the way you beat one guy isn't the same way you beat another guy. And I just think that AJ didn't utilize his size as well as he could have in that first fight. So the adjustments I think he needs to make, I just think he needs to make it a dirty. I'm not saying necessarily a dirty fight, but like use his size a little bit more. Lean on him a little bit. You're the bigger guy. Take advantage of it.
He needs to fight his fight more because he's kind of like he's not like he's not like a boxer. Like Usyk is more more technical and stuff. Joshua needs to be like more physical and use that advantage, right? That's not his strong suit. Is the boxing ability.
I would say Joshua's like a cookie cutter boxer. It's like he's very very textbook, like very European style boxer, But in the sense of like the footwork and the angles, yes, I agree with you. Like Joshua is the much more fundamentally sound boxer out of the two.
Basically, it's just he's not himself. Like after that Ruiz fight, he just started kind of timid, trying to box more, but he's just impose his will more.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, his weight.
Yeah, man.
I think I agree with that. I think it's like gun shy.
Yeah.
He got a little too prudent, if that makes sense. Not like he wasn't tiptoeing around. I think he obviously had a lot more of a reserved tempo after Ruiz, because I think that it's just kind of like a realization of boxing's boxing. So it's and I think AJ can box a solid, good 12 rounds, but it's it's kind of like Jason said too, cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I don't think he's I actually don't think AJ is technically bad. I think sometimes it comes down to the execution of what he's trying to do, and kind of in the context of the match. If he's fighting Usyk or I guess you could compare any of his fights, like Klitschko
Yeah.
fight, Dillian White fight. Because to be honest, I could think of the Dillian White fight, and I remember him getting clipped by Dillian White still, and obviously Klitschko,
Yeah.
that wild. To be fair, it is Klitschko, but I mean, if we're talking like Joshua can throw pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
He can throw down if it's if that is the if the match swings in that as the fluidity of the fight goes on, I think Joshua adjusts really well when the fight downturns into like a brawl.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he really benefits. But I get so skeptical about him with Usyk because it's like I don't think Usyk is the kind of boxer that puts himself in that scenario in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like Joshua can't just be banking on it turning into a fight, which is honestly kind of what I'm hearing. I don't think he's banking on it, but I hear him. It's like, yes, I guess that's kind of like your only other option because you did try to box him, but like maybe a combination of.
Well, I mean, he did switch trainers. He's now with Robert Garcia, so you have to wonder if that's an implication of how he's going to fight. Robert Garcia's style is just the style of his fighter is very come forward, aggressive. You know what I mean? So you have to wonder if that's why he kind of appointed Garcia as his trainer. But I mean, either way, this is I think it's going to be better than the first one. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I don't think I honestly give AJ a solid shot. Like a lot of people writing him off. I think AJ has a solid shot. And I say that mainly because I really want to see Fury AJ. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but out of the two fights, like which one would you rather pick if you had a choice? Like Fury Usyk or Fury Joshua, And I personally would much rather see Fury Joshua. I feel like it's closer,
Entertainment.
Yeah, and it's like the best of Britain, Like I love Usyk, the guy's awesome, but I feel like in terms of like box office appeal, I feel like the bigger fight is Joshua Fury, and I also think stylistically it's a closer fight, just because I think Usyk is way too small for Fury to even do anything. Do you know what I mean? But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I want to see AJ and Fury,
Mm-hmm.
and not even just the styles. Like even outside the ring, there's like smack talk and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot more like build up to it. Like that's a fight that a lot of fans want to see, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a definitely more interesting fight. But yeah, I think I want to see Fury and AJ get in the ring.
Well, I think it's I've seen way more like chitter chatter with the Fury and AJ than it's like the appeal of that Usyk and Fury is more of a boxer appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of a good fight for a really pure boxing fan. I think AJ and Fury is really they show that nationally. Like UK national television and
casual fans.
Yeah, I feel like
go on the street, ask some person on the street in London. I'm sure they know exactly what Josh.
Yeah,
Fury
and it's a shame because Usyk's great. I think he's real funny, but it just
no
he's like
Usyk.
no disrespect to Usyk, but
I guess I didn't mean he's not Usyk isn't well known. It's just
he's not box office.
Yeah,
he's not he doesn't have that draw yet.
I think he's a draw for boxing. In
Right.
general.
We're familiar with Usyk, but go on the street and ask someone who's Oleksandr Usyk. They're like, who?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, who?
Well,
But
AJ's got that. AJ. I think.
He's been on
AJ's
Graham Norton and stuff. He's on the talk show.
He's a proper lad.
The dude's built like an Adonis too. You know what I mean? So it's all the women love him. So 90% of the crowd is gonna be just women.
It's gonna be like the AJ's fans in love with him versus Fury's.
It's just all the gypsies and drunks and.
That's good.
No disrespect. I love Tyson Fury. So please don't take that to heart if you are.
The passion of fans
Yeah.
of really popular fighters like that is really valuable. because that transcends boxing sometimes. Like,
Yeah, it's like Mayweather Pacquiao, you know. It's like
yeah,
that was such a big fight. I mean, not just because like like a lot of people think it's just because like, you know, people think that Manny had the key to unlock, you know, the Da Vinci Code, quote unquote. But I just think it was such just like, you know, Manny Pacquiao had a whole country behind him. You know what I mean? It was just such a interest. It was like these two kids from like halfway across the world. You know, one born in Detroit, and I say kids, but they fought when they were like in their 40s. But you know, two men. You know, one from Detroit, one from the slums of the Philippines, fighting at the pinnacle of this, like, you know, of boxing. This is the pinnacle of boxing. That was that event. You know, unfortunately, it was kind of a dud, but it was. I think that's what makes fights so interesting. You know, it's just like when you look at it and you're like, oh man, like I really can't tell. You know what I mean? Like if you know who's gonna win, I just feel like sometimes I don't even want to watch the fight. You know, like the Teofimo fight last night, right? Like what was the guy, like a negative 3,000 favorite or something? Like the odds were like negative 3,000 or something for him to win.
And the odds for him to knock him out were pretty, like, they were like, the odds makers must have been like, this dude has to knock him out. Why should we force this dude to get like highlight reel KO'd for like Teo's debut for like?
But like that's what we want, you know? That's
like,
what we want. Hashtag. I don't know where I was going with that.
The only reason I disagree, I say it's a good stoppage only because, for me personally, my own, like, if a fight is obviously, if it's outclassing and the ref can just say, dude, I'd rather have you wake up tomorrow without like like I'm okay with that. I do like the warrior, like, destruction, destroy, but like sometimes I'm like, man, you don't gotta let the dude get like.
It's crazy. It's crazy how refs can like literally change like how a fight is played out.
Like, and you're right. It's like that could have been Teo. We could have been all morning seeing highlights on YouTube of an incredible just Teo. Because I'm sure if it went a couple more rounds, I'm sure. I thought Teo was trying to really get it done, like in the last round. But like, I think you're still justified though, because I think up until the last couple rounds, I would say gun shy. I would say like timid kind of, like how we were talking about earlier. I'd say I would say it's probably less Kambosos at this point, and just the effect of losing rather than Kambosos specifically, you know?
Right.
Just it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to. I always have a hard time when they move up, when it's like their first at a new weight class, because I'm like, well, it might not seem like a lot, I guess, but I guess he could be like 10 or so pounds heavier than he might have been before, because of rehydration and but like, I was seeing, you know, I see a couple overhands that Campo might have landed, or like a couple straights that Teofimo pretty much pivoted right into. I'm like, man, you know, Josh Taylor ain't Campo. Josh Taylor catches you with that overhand, breaking the guard. That's not Campo.
I think after
Zepeda.
Yeah, man, it's like when you take someone's best weapon away from them, like Usyk did with Joshua. I just feel like that can just like boxing is 90% mental, you know. Like, you know, even when you're sparring, right? Like, you know, like you go in there and you feel like you're better, you know. You fight like beautifully, you know what I mean? It's like you go in there and like you're the same guy, right? But if you go in there and like even before the bell starts or even before the bell rings or whatever, right? If you're in there with someone who you even think is slightly better than you fight completely differently. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think that's so interesting how like just like a slight shift in mentality can like change your entire, like, you know. It's gonna wrap up our episode, but final predictions for Joshua Usyk. How do you see it going? Do you see it a knockout? Do you see a decision? What round? Go.
I'm gonna go with a decision with Usyk.
Usyk by decision? You think points decision? Okay.
Yeah, I think majority.
Majority decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
It's just like I was saying like earlier, like it's just gonna be. I think it's just gonna be a continuation of the last fight. Even though he has a new trainer like Rob Garcia or whatever, I feel like he's still like. I think he should have had like a tune-up before this fight. I don't think he should have
gone straight into
it. I think that's kind of a flaw in his decision making, but we'll see. I mean, I got it. I think Usyk's gonna outbox him again.
Yeah.
That's just me.
What about you, Michael? How do you see the fight going?
So I'm not gonna lie. I got a different. I think it's gonna be like a round 11 KO after 10 rounds of just Usyk getting out of the way, left counter, getting out of the way, left counter, and then in the 12th or 11th, I really think Joshua's just gonna bull rush. Usyk's just gonna counter him. I'm thinking like one punch counter kind of knockout, like
Really?
dazed him. Like not like that AJ's weak, but like I think Usyk is really gonna
Yeah.
kind of like dice him up, if that makes sense. Like
Like a methodical kind of beat.
yeah, and I liked what Jaylen you said about the mental breakdown.
Yeah.
I think I truly kind of subscribe to the tune-up fight thing because I think mentally how he got broken down in the first fight, I don't think it's been long enough. Well, it's been like a year, but like it's fight to fight, you know. So it's like he's going from a mentality in the first fight straight to a completely different mentality in the second fight in a row against him.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
gonna start like a little bit more more exciting and stuff, and he's gonna come out stronger. But I think it's gonna eventually Usyk's gonna just adapt to him, and then it's just gonna be like, oh shit, here we go again, like type of-
Yeah.
Like the
that's how-
GTA meme?
Yeah. It's gonna. I think it's like for like about round 3 or 4, everyone's gonna be like, okay, AJ's. And then I think Usyk's gonna be like, okay, I've completely downloaded all of his new tricks, and it's like, well, AJ,
See, I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
let's go.
I'm gonna say AJ by knockout, late round
I want to see
knockout.
the best slip, bro.
You know?
I want to see the slip.
Hey, I'm a gambler. You know?
I want to see the best slip, bro. I want you to print it out.
The bet slip.
Yeah, I want you to print it out.
Hey, I'll put money on it.
Hey man, it's gonna be a good Saturday.
I think it'll be late round because like one thing, if AJ showed us anything, it's adaptability. You know what I mean? Look at how granted, Ruiz kind of did the Buster Douglas and kind of like had his moment and then kind of like partied and stuff, but AJ like made the adjustments he needed to. You know what I mean? He boxed. He showed a side to him that he's never showed before. And I just really, really want to see Tyson Fury versus AJ. So please, AJ, win this fight. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Hooks Lattes. Give Jaylen a follow too. You want to shout out your Instagram?
Yeah, it's just my name, Jaylen Gooley.
Yeah. You can see some like really, really good HD professional shots of him running in slow motion. So... Yeah, no, for all the ladies out there, he's single, so
You gotta get yourself out there, bro.
he drives a truck and he always carries duct tape with him, so he's a handyman.
That's true. This man's responsible for like most of our setup today. So
Yeah, we've had like a crazy day. We had to move. Like we actually had a whole shoot before this, and then we had to move here
I
because
feel bad. We should have like hit him freaking early for having.
I know, and like our mic broke, so it's like
the mic.
yeah, like so like this is the making of a podcast with no money right here. So if you're broke and you want to start a podcast, hit us up because we will give you the most practical advice on how to do it. Yeah, but thank you guys for watching. Hopefully with more viewers and more likes, and we really love doing this show. Maybe we can start upgrading our setup and whatnot. But we appreciate you guys listening, and we'll do this from like a porta potty if we need to. So
Dude, if there's fights happening,
yeah, we'll be there.
Fights
Or we'll be here, but
like little podcast goblins just waiting in the wings, waiting for next.
what he said.